Welcome to episode 29 in my High Vibe Habits series. You can go through this thing without even realizing it. It's so obvious from the outside, but so difficult to witness from your own point of view, which is probably why it fascinates me. What am I talking about? The reality of feeling low, which I call becoming a human puddle. Before we dive in, a quick introduction. I'm Nithya Karia, here to teach you how to consistently prioritize yourself without the guilt so you can support your needs and your need to support others with just 5 simple habits. Because we give more when we have more to give. Your best self actually lies in your happiest self. I hate everyone and I hate my life. This came hurtling at me from the backseat of my car. Now, I've been on both sides of this fence. I've been a puddle, and just last week, I got to witness a human puddle. Yes, it's that moment when you watch someone totally go down the rabbit hole, or do so yourself. My normally resilient daughter rapidly started deteriorating when a beloved Pokemon card was lost. Her typically upbeat self was turning darker and darker. I recognize this process. That slippery slope when you feel sad, frustrated, and angry, and just completely lose your ability to function as your usual self. You lose your capacity to see things from multiple angles. You really have a kind of low perspective. Now, I love that kids feel free to actually say the thing they're feeling. Because something else I noticed is that when I feel awful, I usually keep it to myself. Mumble under my breath. Maybe I take it out on other people, but I rarely just come out and say it. That the world sometimes feels unfair and that just sucks. Now, rather than fall prey to the frustration of listening to someone vent rather loudly while you're trapped driving, I became an observer. I tried to hold space for my daughter where I wasn't asking her to diminish how she felt because it was difficult for me to listen to. So I watched sadness just consume her. There was nothing that my son or I could do to really lift her spirits. So we listened quietly. We heard her get mad at us, get mad at the city of Chicago, and decide that her life was just plain miserable. It's really easy when I share this story to discount this as childish, but I'll bet there are days that you feel that downward pull. I'll bet you have moments where you look at your spouse or your children, your clients or patients, people in your life, and just see someone who doesn't do enough, who's complaining or is ungrateful, who's just irritating and frustrating. Days when everyone and everything falls short. I say this because I've experienced this, I've lived this. And why am I sharing this? Because I know that you understand that feeling good feels good, right? We get that piece. But what we don't always remember is that there's also a real cost to not feeling good, to not meeting our needs. When we put ourselves on the back burner, we show up trying to use all of our energy and resources to serve others. If we don't feel good, we don't feel like our cup is full, we are not serving people to our best. Because what happens to you when you don't feel good? What thoughts do you have when you feel low, whether that's sad, anxious, worried, upset, irritated? How does feeling low affect how you see other people? What does possibility look like? Is there even any possibility from this low vibe vantage point? What I really wanted to do this week is leave you with some food for thought. I say this all the time in some way, shape, or form. It matters how you feel. How you feel changes what you think, what you do, and what you believe about yourself and other people. So remember that you get to take care of yourself. It's actually a really crucial component in being able to show up with the energy that you want, with the love that you want, with the open-mindedness, the perspective, the solution-oriented mindset, right? All of the things that you wake up every morning trying really hard to do, to perform, to be, they come more easily when your cup is full, when you have taken care of your needs. Because when our minds aren't working to meet some basic need of ours, that need that is triggered by a stress response inside us when we don't feel good, then the only thing that we really have to do with our energy is to give it away, is to show up as a person we want to be, to make those decisions we want to make, right? We show up as our best self from our feel-good self. Oh, and you can also rest well knowing that I did find that lost card. It happened to be in the book, in the back seat that was sitting right next to her. Thankfully, the world is often kinder than we think it is. That's all for this episode. Sending all my love and gratitude. Stay high vibe, my friends.